gorgeous. Long time no see. Um, I hope you've all been well. I thought today I might get you caught up on what's been going on in my life while you get ready with me, or I get ready with you. and I'm going to try a few new things today and a bunch of old things, just odds and ends. Okay, so here we go. I hope I can see any of what I'm wearing here. Let's see. First of all, under my eyes, I'm going to be putting Hylamide Sub Q Eyes Advanced Serum. And my friend Ginger turned me on to this, as well as this, which is Hylamide Sub Q Anti-Age Advanced Serum. And that goes on the face. I know it's been 3 months since I saw you last. Because the last video I did was January, February, March empties. And soon I'll be bringing you April, May, June empties. And the main trouble really was before that, though. What happened was I had a sinus infection. It was not bad enough to send me to the doctor. But right after that, let's see what happened. I had a little bout of labyrinthitis. And then I had another sinus infection, also not bad enough to send me to the doctor. And then after that, another small bout of labyrinthitis. And then after that, another sinus infection that would have been bad enough to send me to the doctor, except that by the time, sorry, gross, I know, sputum was yellow. By the time that happened, I was, almost well, so I didn't bother. But what happened after that was like the worst labyrinthitis that I've had since the first labyrinthitis I had 16 years ago. And what ended up happening was, I had taken Richard, or accompanied Richard, to Tupelo, Mississippi, which is where our nearest VA is, for his regular appointment. And right after that, this is going to have to dry a minute. Right after that, I asked him if he would mind if I ran into CVS, because you know me, right? Had to check on what was new at the drugstore. And what had happened that morning was, on top of labyrinthitis, it seemed like I had the worst, actually, I'll be honest, this had been going on for a couple days. The worst case of reflux I've had since I first got reflux, like 12 years ago. Just between, like my esophagus and the top of my rib cage was just, it felt full. And then I went into the CVS, and while I was in CVS, I got the worst hot flash of my entire life. It was so bad, I was thinking, well, this must be the marking the end of menopause hot flash or something. So I had all the three of these things going at the same time, and it was so bad when I got to the checkout counter, the lady wanted to know if there was something wrong with me. Ugh. So when I got to the car, I started crying just uncontrollably. I have no idea why. I still don't know why. Well, I have an idea why. But Richard said, well, you've got all these things going on. Why don't we go to the doctor? So we went to the doctor, since we were right there in Tupelo, and that's where my doctor is. So we went, and finally, after 16 years of having this chronic labyrinthitis, he made me an appointment with a specialist for some testing. And he doubled my dosage for my reflux, And he questioned me for reasons why I might have been upset and crying, and I told him the reasons why, and I'll tell you in a little while. And he said he felt like I might be a person that suffers from anxiety. And so he put me on Valium, which I didn't sort of want to be on because my adoptive father had been on Valium. And over the years, it just kind of, he got more and more dependent on it, and his dosage increased, and yeah, he was hooked. So the doctor said, no, this is just for 1 month to kind of see how it affects you. So within a couple days, the reflux was better. So yes, that was the problem there. And with regard to the Valium, I felt, oh, by the way, this was Neutrogena Hydro Boost water gel with hyaluronic acid on my face and under eye. Okay. With regard to the Valium, the next day I felt more serene than I felt in weeks, months, years, or possibly ever. So when I went back to the doctor, he said, okay, well, I do think maybe you suffer from anxiety. And so he put me on, he decided to take me off the Valium because I liked it too much. I thought that might happen. And I just really didn't want to be on it anyway. And put me on a well-known anti-anxiety medication called Buspirone. And that has worked well for me. I take one in the morning and one at bedtime, and I haven't had any more of those crazy hot flashes and crying uncontrollably, and I can see a difference. And if I tend to get stressed in the middle of the day, I take another one in the middle of the day. And that's very infrequent, though. Okay. For my foundation, I'm going to use this Kula Mineral Sunscreen BB Cream because I'm going out into the world today and I want some sunscreen on my face. Okay, so then the next thing was the testing for the labyrinthitis. The first thing that the doctor determined in that case was that I don't have Meniere's disease. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't have it. And then the next set of tests determined that I don't have a wart or a tumor or a deformity in my inner ear. And ultimately determined that it's still just labyrinthitis. It's just gotten worse over the years. And that some of that might be a result of my medications. So that might be a result of getting older. Some of that might be a result of diabetes. But in any case, it's just the same old, and I'm just going to have to deal with it with my regular medication when it happens. Now, fortunately, we're past allergy season, and it hasn't happened again since that day, that particular bout of it. Okay, so that's all of that. About a month ago, I got an email from Glitzy Fritzy. Hi, Mary. Wanting to know if I was all right. And I relayed all that information to her. Oh, also, I sprained my back twice. Okay, so there was that. But really and truly, ultimately, my biggest difficulty was still being in a funk about those deaths in my family. And also, I'd had a death of a different nature, which was a loss of a friendship that I had made here on YouTube. Not that the person died, but that the relationship, that the friendship died. And that is really apparently, I think, what had put me into high anxiety. I'd been kind of upset about my mother. And like I said, then that kind of made me upset about all the other passings in my family. And I wasn't able to talk to my friend one night, or really a couple days, very much. And that was the beginning of what I believe was a misunderstanding. And so my friend basically cut me off. But what I was really upset was the fact that I then did not fight harder for the friendship. But there were some circumstances surrounding this misunderstanding that made me feel right at that time I couldn't do that. So there's that. This was NARS, by the way. This is that NARS highlighter I'm trying to use up this year. And this is a little sample I got of, oh my, oh dear. We're going to need the glasses for this. Hoola Quickie Contour Stick by Benefit. And it's a little sample, so I'm trying that. Because I may be putting this in, maybe, I haven't decided for sure, my luggage for a little vacation trip I'm making. My friend Chris is taking me to Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas, and I'm not like a big gambler. But he is a very big fan of Brian Ferry of Roxy Music. And we're going to see Brian Ferry perform. And then as it turned out, the next night, Cher is performing. So we're going to see Cher perform. So this is pretty exciting. This is going to be in August. And while we're there, we're going to be seeing Carol, like Carol, Oh Carol Show, and Joanie Junebug. So I'm very, very excited about that. And I hope to learn how to use my real camera by then so that I can record some of that excitement. Okay. There, that's a little better. Okay. So anyway, that's exciting, and that's coming up. So this I hadn't tried before. So that's new to the arsenal. Speaking of new, and speaking of Carol, Carol recommended this soap, this dollar soap from Walmart called Zote. It's pink, for cleaning brushes. And it's got Zote written on it, so for a while you've got a little grid on there to actually rub them against. Which, when that disappears, I guess I'll just have to go back to, you know, my little scrubbing mat. But it gets them, it gets the brushes really clean. And see, I have all clean brushes today. And the odor is a little odd, but it's worked on me sort of psychologically, such that now I actually associate the odor with nice, beautiful, clean brushes. So now I actually love the odor. Okay, so it took a couple times, but I love it now. So okay, we're gonna try out today we're trying out the L'Oreal Infallible something. It's the blue one, and it's the concealer. So we're gonna see how this works. I'm trying this because Emily Noel said that it's nice and light, which is great for summer. And as y'all know, I prefer a light to medium coverage. So this could be up my alley. By the way, I'm not really testing these today. I won't be coming back later to tell you how I worked, but I do have plans to resume the battle of the concealers and also do a battle of the foundations with any foundations that I've procured since we did the original battle of the foundations. Okay, well, from a distance that looks really nice, so we'll see. Um, so I'm going to hold off on doing any reviews of these until then. Okay. Give that a moment to dry. What else? Since I saw you last, I also rejoined an online reading group that I'd been a member of 7 or 8 years ago. And what you do is you read a book every 2 weeks. So you read 2 books a month. And while you're discussing one, or you read a book, but while you're reading that one, you're discussing the one you read the previous 2 weeks. So you're always involved sort of with 2 books. And I've read like something like 40 books since the beginning of the year. So see, that's what I was doing. But I ended up quitting that group last week. As much as I loved it, I realized I have so many books that I want to read that if I keep on reading, keep on finding these other books that I want to read on top of the books that I already want to read, I will never finish reading all the books I want to read in my lifetime. So sadly, I left the group. Okay, this is eyeshadow primer. Another one of the ones that I'm trying to use up this year for the 2017 makeup use up. So let me tell you what's really noteworthy, and this is one that I discovered. I finally, and this is stupid, went down and joined my library, and you can actually download audios online from your library. So I've been listening to these mysteries. I bought these books some years ago for my birth mother, and she really loved them, and I'd always wanted to read them, so I'm finally reading them. But they're a series called The Number One Ladies Detective Agency, and it's about a woman in Botswana, which is just north of South Africa, whose father dies and leaves her a bunch of cattle. And so she starts a detective agency, believing that women are basically intuitive and don't need a lot of training to be a detective. We're just nosy and so on. And her name is Precious Ramutswe. And gosh, I think there are 13 books on audio, and then there are 5 or 6 since then that aren't, as far as I can tell, on audio that I might have to read, with my eyes instead of my ears. And this is the usual, by the way, just the little elf powder. And they're really lovely. It's interesting to learn about about Botswana itself, which sounds like just a beautiful, beautiful country. And I don't mean physically to look at, although it certainly is that. In fact, that's where the Kalahari Desert is. But also just the people and their way of life, just truly beautiful. This is Wild and Crazy. I'm trying to use this up too, and I put this as my eyeliner all over my eye. I mean, eyeshadow all over my eye. Anyway, she eventually hires an assistant, and she eventually gets married and fosters 2 children. Anyway, they're absolutely delightful, and the mysteries are good. There are usually 2 or 3 cases that get solved in the course of a book. And I would highly recommend them. The #1 ladies detective agency. Anyway, that's just been delightful. I'm going to just continue with this makeup, and if I have anything else I need to say, I'll say it. I'm going to need to call on my mirror for the eyebrows, which is the Wet n Wild that I'm trying to use up. So, what Richard and I are doing today, we're going to Tupelo and meeting a friend for lunch. This is a girlfriend who we worked with at the bank we worked at, and we haven't seen her in years, in part because we moved away from Tupelo, and also she her house was broken into, and I guess she wasn't expected to be at home, but she was, and was shot in the head. And it's been a long recovery for her. But mainly, you know how it is, people just don't get together, which is stupid, but this is just another one of the, I think it's Estee Lauder lip pencils I'm trying to get rid of this year. But yeah, it's been a long recovery, so her name is Lisa, and I love her, and getting together for lunch, and hopefully I'll have a photo maybe to post at the end of the video. Her health is a little, I guess, precarious still, because we've planned to meet a couple times before, and it's just never worked out because she would be not feeling well and stuff. I mean, I can imagine. I don't get it, y'all. I put on lip balm a couple times a day, but there's still always cracks on my lips. This is that Palladio lip tint that I'm trying to get rid of this year. I forgot to get out any eyeshadow, so let's get out some eyeshadow, shall we? Here's just the first thing that I'm finding, which is Kat Von D. I can't read. Ladybird. Kat Von D Ladybird. And this is what Ladybird looks like. Really beautiful. And it's all matte, which makes me happy. And comes with a pencil, thank you. I haven't used this one in a while, so I'm not going to say I'd forgotten how beautiful it was, but it's nice to have my memory refreshed. Okay, and for the crease, this is a little dark, but I think I can blend it out. I'm going to use this dark brown down here. Ah, love this tiny brush for that. Okay, I'm going to go with this black one. Okay, out of nowhere here, I'm going to tell you another thing Richard and I have done. We watched some TV series that we've been wanting to watch for a long time. We watched The Borgias in its entirety, and then we also watched The Tudors in its entirety. And now we're reading the series by Philippa Gregory about the women of the Tudors and the Plantagenets. which will then, after that, then we'll be watching The White Queen and The White Princess, but we want to read the books first. And we're really enjoying those because it tells about those, you know, all that from the female point of view rather than the male. You're always hearing, you know, about Henry VIII, but, you know, when do you hear about from the wife's point of view? So, yeah, we're doing that. Okay, this is Maybelline Fit Me Blush. The color is Wine. And the actual powder is Essence Color Correcting Mattifying Powder. Looks like that. I'm so asymmetrical. Pretty much everybody's asymmetrical. It's weird when you actually take a minute and look and see how asymmetrical you are. Okay, I'm going to call on the small mirror again for the mascara, which is Lash Out Butterfly, the one with this weird brush. Okay. And this is what? Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. And the color is, I can't tell you. Number 12, Twisted Tulip. All right, I guess that's it. I may come back later after I've coiffed my hair to let you see how that looks, because I got it cut again, like even shorter than before. I went full Rachel Maddow or full Iris Apple, depending on how you look at it or how I style it. But anyway, I'll give you a little idea. So either I'll come back later and show this to you after I fixed it, or you'll see it when I take a picture with Lisa, or you'll see it in the next video. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me, and I'm sorry I've been gone so long, but I was really sad. I was just really sad. And I don't know, I was in the does makeup really matter frame of mind, to be quite honest. And of course it does. Anything that makes you happy, as makeup makes all of us here in this community does, it is important. That's why we do it. So anyway, I'm going to try to be back. I love y'all. If you're new, subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, send friends. Love y'all. Bye. Okay, hi, I'm back. This is the finished product, although the hair isn't really cooperating today. You get an idea. It's short. It's very, very short. All right, that's it. Love y'all. Bye.